Hello and welcome to the overview of the longest special program that I've ever seen, coming in at an hour and a half. Since it was so long, I'm going to boil it down to the things I feel like are important, what's actually coming to the game, new content, characters, etc. The first 10 minutes or so are mainly focusing on the story, what to expect from 2.1 and kind of what we already experienced in 2.0. We are going to be moving on to the new characters though, starting with the most anticipated one, I would say Acheron. We'll go over everything I learned about her from the special program, starting with the basics. She is a lightning nihility character. I do really feel like we've been needing some new lightning characters, so that's nice. Nihility was an interesting choice, and they did talk about that a little bit, and also the fact that before she was optimized, her ultimate crashed the game, which was funny to me. Her skill, Octobolt Flash, will give her special charges. You can see a number down there above her HP bar. These are the charges. Outside of gaining these charges from using skills, she can also gain charges when any of your allies inflict debuffs on enemies, or if enemies inflict debuffs on themselves. Basically, anytime debuffs are happening, she gains a charge. Whether it's like bleed or some other dot from weakness break, this will give her a charge. She's also incredibly unique. She does not have energy like every other character. Her ultimate is based on these charges. So I already know I'm definitely not going to be building her with an energy regeneration rope. But yeah, if you actually look at her ultimate gauge, it looks like some sort of black hole flower, but it has like 9 stems, which corresponds to the actual stacks she needs. I imagine in some teams you can get those 9 stacks pretty dang quick. Her ultimate itself is also pretty special. It has 4 hits, and you can specifically select the target each time to be hit, except for the 4th hit, which is all enemies. Wait, what? What? Okay, so her technique just instantly kills enemies before even entering battle. There must be some catch, hold on. You can also use it in Sim Universe, and if there are a group of enemies, you can just slice all of them. It seems like it might not work on elites, which would be fair, but Jesus Christ, that technique is incredibly overpowered, wow. They do talk pretty openly about how there was resistance actually getting her technique to work like this, within the game dev, I guess, circle, which I think is understandable. Like, damn. I'm glad they came to an agreement though, because that sounds absolutely amazing. Sim Universe speedruns, here we go. So yeah, obviously really looking forward to Acheron. She sounds incredibly interesting, very different from any other character so far. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to Adventurine, the next new character. He seems to be an imaginary preservation character, could be interesting as well. So he is a shielder, similar to Gepard, I guess, AoE shields, but they do seem to be special. And when allies who are shielded get attacked, he'll get a special charge. Once he has those 7 charges, you can see he'll do an AoE follow-up attack, at the same time reapplying this special shield. Almost like Gepard and March 7th combined, actually. His ultimate is a single target attack, and there's a little bit of RNG involved here. It'll gain him a random amount of these stacks, the same stacks you get when enemies hit your shields. His ultimate will also apply a debuff on the target, where your allies will deal increased crit damage to them. His out of battle technique introduces some more RNG, where you can give the entire team a death boost, but it's random. We'll also have to fight Adventurine at some point in the story. It is apparently a friendly match. I mention this because the combat does look pretty interesting. It's kind of like gambling. He'll throw out some dice at one point and you have to attack them, and if your overall points are lower than his, he'll do a big attack on you, and if the reverse is true, you'll get some advantageous buffs. Overall though, Adventurine does sound pretty interesting as a playable character. In my humble opinion, nowhere near on the same level as Acheron, but definitely pretty strong. He'd be quite good in this current pure fiction that focuses a lot on follow-up attacks. Next up, we're looking at the 1 4-star. This dude does not look like a 4-star. Why is he a 4-star? He's a grown man, he should be 5-star. But we have Gallagher here, he's a fire abundance character. It's always nice to see new 4-star healers. From what they described, his skill seems to just be a single target heal. It could do other things, but they don't go into detail. His ultimate is an AoE attack that plants a debuff on all current enemies on field, and when allies attack an enemy with this special debuff, they'll heal. So it's almost like a mini abyss field from Lacha in a way. The ultimate will also enhance his next basic attack, causing it to deal more damage and implant an attack down debuff on the enemy he attacks. So I mean, depending on the smaller details, he definitely could be a pretty good character. Definitely feels a little more offensive than a typical healer, but also possibly healing less than a typical healer as well. So looking at the banners now, I'm really happy they're including all the 4-stars here now as well. We are starting phase 1 with Acheron. I love it. She'll also be with the new 4-star Gallagher, as well as Pella and normal Dawn. Then we also have our signature Lycone with, I think that's Good Night and Sleep Well up there, which is a pretty good card for some characters. In the second half, we'll have Adventurine and his signature Lycone as well, alongside Lynx, Luca, and Serval. We're also getting a Lacha rerun. Personally, I don't use him that often anymore outside of 2-team content, which arguably is the most important content, and also a Jingliu rerun in Phase 2. She is still, as far as I'm aware, regarded as one of the best DPSs. We'll also be getting a new 4-star Lycone, Concert for 2 for Preservation. I assume this is going to be the free-to-play Lycone for Adventurine. Moving on to new content like area and events, we have this kind of like theme park type thing, and this very interesting hamster character is introducing it. But yeah, we'll be like a producer of some animations. It was honestly a little hard to concentrate.
Go, 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 go!
We also, of course, got some new Ascension materials for fire type characters, assuming for the new 4-star fire healer, and new trace materials for preservation and abundance characters. But yeah, we'll have this cute looking little mini game here. It's kind of 2D side scrolling. We gotta dodge some stuff while collecting some other stuff. Besides that, we have like a sort of mini game-esque thing. You mix different drinks to get a final drink to serve to the monsters. Looks pretty casual, but fine. We'll also get a free 4-star character from this event. Always cool to see. You can also converse with the monsters and learn a bit more about them and empathize, I guess. We also got Tides of War. Looks like a pixel RPG sort of thing. Seems to actually be mostly combat focused. We've seen events like this, you know, we got to accumulate some special energy and that will make our combat stronger. The interface is mostly like pixel graphics though. We're getting World 9 of Sim Universe. Always love to see expansions here. And with a new world comes new sets as well. Sadly, they don't tell us exactly what they do, but they give us some idea. They say Sigonia is a DPS set that's suitable for prolonged battles against multiple enemy waves. So I assume you continually get some stacks of some offensive stat, perhaps specifically depending on waves or just how many enemies you defeat. We'll have to wait and see for specifics there. And the Izumo set provides extra buffs to the wearer when there are other characters on the same path in the team. So we do have a similar set, the Pinaconi set, where if they are of the same element, you will give them a damage buff. So I assume it'll be similar to that, but just for paths, which I feel like might be worse because there are some good like mono ice and mono quantum that can use the Pinaconi set really well, but outside of dot teams, it's pretty rare. I have multiple of the same paths in a team, but maybe with new characters that'll change. It seems they're also adding some quality of life things to Sim Universe, starting with the fact we can jump directly to difficulty 4 instead of having to go through the earlier stages first. I think that's good. Another pretty cool quality of life thing, kind of mirroring Genshin's Expedition one-click thing. Same thing with assignments. You can just reassign everyone with one click now. Nice. That's really good for me. They've increased the inventory limit for relics. I have like 1,300 5-stars. I'm just too lazy to go and salvage because you have to look at them each individually. They've also added some new puzzles. I've played quite a few of these already. Some of these I found to actually be pretty challenging. To be honest, I never particularly liked this minigame where you are turned into the little dude and have to sneak past the enemies. But now they've added a rocket launcher you can just blast the enemies away with. So maybe I'll actually like it now. There's a section here about 60 to 70% through the special program that asks some questions that may allude to the future of Honkai Star Rail. The first question is, farming planar ornaments in the simulated universe is such a pain. Will it be optimized in the future? They say they do plan to optimize farming for planar ornaments here, but they do not go into detail. Next question is, when will March 7th transform? So I'm apparently a little bit out of the loop when it comes to March 7th and her transformation, but apparently there are plans this year to have March 7th be able to swap her path. I don't know if that means like a totally different character like we have with Dawn, or maybe similar to the main character. When will the Shienzo's storyline continue? Will we ever see Ting Yun again? That's right. I remember in one of the chapters, she like got her neck broken or something. That was kind of a crazy scene. They basically say, yeah, sometime in 2024, things will continue there, but they weren't specific at all. So take it how you will. Will there be more cute life forms like Ranmei's creations in the future? They say, yeah, there will be more cute creatures in the future. Oh, what? This is a question I was not expecting. Why do we always see unofficial leaks of upcoming content online? Well, I think most people knew this already, but their stance on leaks and such is not a good one. I thought it was really interesting, actually. I really wasn't expecting them to go into that on a special program. But while I do of course understand Hoyoverse is a massive company and they're making it somewhat personable here, I also do understand that there are real individual people that have a passion for this working there, and they want their stories and content to be presented how they want it to be presented. I might also be a little biased because me personally, I don't like leaks. I want to experience the game or the new content or the new story how it was meant to be portrayed, and not some random dude that has literally nothing to do with the development process. If you enjoy looking at leaks to hype yourself up or whatever, that's fine, I don't care. Just me personally, I don't think leaks add anything to the game at all. The one exception might be like, you know, required mats for an upcoming character you really want so you can prepare for them in advance. But honestly, lately, you know, Hoyo has been pretty good about telling you what they need before they're actually here so you can prepare. Other than that, story, content, or combat leaks, I just don't find valuable at best. And like they touched on, depending on how it's introduced, it can just be bad overall. Moving on from that subject, they start talking about their first anniversary, which is coming up very soon. So we'll have a special anniversary event called Cosmodesy. Some pretty nice looking rewards down there. Looks like sort of a board game board. You know how board games work. We roll a dice and move some squares. There are some different mechanics and like chance tiles you can land on. There are also some mini games like this slot machine here and a different slot machine, cookie bakery, maybe like match 3 here. We'll also have special anniversary versions of Realm of the Strange and Planar Fissure. These are like these double relics, but apparently it's 300% now. So 3 times the relics. Pretty good. More anniversary awards, festive gifts, 20 exclusive tickets. And on April 26th, 4 days after my birthday and the anniversary of Honkai Star Rail, they're going to be giving us 1600 Stellar Jades. So basically another 10 pull. Oh, and the first time top-up bonuses will also be reset. They're also announcing some offline events. If you're interested in those, the dates and locations are currently on screen. There are honestly a huge amount of non-in-game events they're talking about here. I'm not going to go into detail about any of them because I prefer to focus on in-game content. But yeah, that's the Honkai Star Rail 2.1 special program. Again, it was actually an hour and a half, but I can't imagine my coverage of it's going to be that much longer than usual, since there was a lot of like casual conversation, which I don't think is a bad thing, but I also felt like most of it wasn't that important to add in a sort of overview of what we're getting. Let me know what you think though in the comments down below. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.